Do you feel it? That pressure to blend in, to walk the same path as everyone else, to avoid standing out at all costs? It starts young. The fear of being called out, the fear of being laughed at, the fear of being different. As we grow, it doesn't disappear, it evolves. The world teaches us that being different is risky, that it's safer to follow the crowd, to hide your voice, to shrink. But here's the truth. Every great idea, every bold innovation, every world-changing movement started with someone who dared to be different. They didn't fit in. They didn't follow the rules. They stood up, spoke out, and reshaped the world. And yes, it was terrifying, but they did it anyway. You see, the fear of being different isn't a sign you're wrong. It's a sign you're alive. It's proof that you're on the verge of something real, something extraordinary. Don't let the fear hold you back. Lean into it. Own it. Because the world doesn't need more copies. The world needs originals. And that's you. How often do you look in the mirror and truly see yourself? Not the version the world expects, not the mask you wear to fit in, but the real you, raw, unfiltered, authentic. Think back to when you were a child, before the opinions, before the expectations, back when you simply were. That's where your authentic self still lives, untouched, waiting to be rediscovered. Embracing your authentic self doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest. It means letting go of who you think you should be and stepping fully into who you already are. Because your quirks, your passions, your dreams, they're not flaws to hide. They're gifts to share. They're what make you you. And no one else can do that. Start small. Ask yourself, what do I love? What brings me joy? What feels right to me? Then lean into those answers, follow them, and watch as your world begins to shift. Because when you embrace your authentic self, something incredible happens. You stop living for them and start living for you. What would the world look like if we were all the same? If every voice sounded alike? If every idea mirrored the one before it? Would there be innovation, progress, joy? Difference is what turns monotony into magic. It's what sparks creativity, drives discovery. Yet for far too long, differences have been seen as barriers, something to fear, something to divide us. But what if we saw them as bridges instead? What if we built a world where every voice mattered? It starts with listening to stories unlike our own, learning from perspectives that challenge us, embracing ideas that push us forward. When we celebrate differences, we unlock limitless potential. We create spaces where innovation thrives, cultures flourish, and people feel seen, valued, and empowered to be their authentic selves. But this kind of world doesn't happen by accident. It happens when we choose to create it, when we speak up for inclusion, when we amplify underrepresented voices, when we challenge bias and break down barriers. Think about it. Every leader, every innovator, every game changer was different. They challenged the status quo. They faced doubt, criticism, even failure, but they dared anyway, and that made all the difference. You don't have to be famous to make an impact. Daring to be different starts with small steps, speaking up when no one else will, choosing your own path when everyone else follows, living boldly, authentically, fearlessly. It's in those moments when your heart races, your voice shakes, and doubt creeps in, that daring becomes powerful. Because it's not about being fearless, it's about acting despite the fear. Every time you choose to be different, you light a spark. And those sparks, they start fires. Fires that inspire change. Fires that create movements. Fires that rewrite the rules. The world needs you, your voice, your ideas, your courage. So stand tall, speak loudly, dream bigger, and dare to be different.